Hi everyone. In the last video, we did a reflection over the y-axis, and now we're going to do a reflection over the x-axis. Same thing, just different axis. I'm going to highlight that so I know that that's my line of reflection. I'm going to take this triangle and I'm going to reflect it over the x-axis. So it's going to be like a mirror image going over the x-axis. So I have triangle DEF. And I'm going to look at where my points are. My points are at 2, -2. So D, I go in the lobby 2, down the elevator to -2. E is at, go on the x-axis first, 7, -7. And F is at 2, -7. Lots of 2s and 7s. Okay, and I'm going to draw it and see where my points D prime, E prime, F prime are. So I'm going to start with D. And if I'm reflecting over this line, if it's 2 down, then I need to be 2 up on the other side, and that's D prime. And E is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down. So I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up. So in other words, I was at -7 on Y before. Now I'm at +7. And that's going to be my E prime. And then finally my F prime. This F was 7 units down. I see it's at -7, or I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So F prime needs to be 7 units up above the x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I can connect it. And again, reflections are a transformation that does not change the size or the shape. The angles are the same, the side lengths are the same. It's the same triangle, but it's been reflected over the x-axis. So before, all my y's were negative. Now all my y's are positive because I'm on the positive side of the y-axis. And its orientation has changed. It's flipped over, but I could still pick this up, turn it over, and place it on here, and it would be perfectly congruent. So looking at my prime coordinates, D prime was at 2, 2. E prime is at 7, 7. And F prime is at 2, 7. So I want you to take a minute and think about, what do you notice when you go from D to D prime, E to E prime, F to F prime? How does it change? If you said that the y coordinate becomes the opposite, you're 100% correct, and x stays the same. So the y coordinates become opposite. Sorry about that. Become opposite, and the x coordinates stay the same. And let's take a look at why that happens. Again, we're reflecting over this line. Everything below this line, the y is negative. Everything above this line, the y is positive. So when you flip it over, the y changes, but the x doesn't change. It doesn't move left or right. If it moved left or right, then the x would change. Only the y changes because we've moved from below the x-axis to above the x-axis. And the way that we could write this as a rule, previously when we reflected over the y-axis, our rule was negative xy because the x's were the opposites. The y stayed the same. Here, the x stays the same and the y's, and the y's are opposite.